John, this new kind of tradition here with the HMAS Sydney and the Swans. What's it all about, and good to keep it going, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. It started last year. Obviously a memorial game around acknowledging the HMAS Sydney, the fact that it was based out of Sydney and then obviously sunk off the coast of WA. So as football clubs, West Coast and Sydney have had a great rivalry over a number of years. So this is something that builds on that.
How's the rivalry changed? I mean, 5 years ago it was, you know, the close games and less than a goal, consecutive games that were decided by less than a goal. But how do you see the rivalry now as opposed to, say, 5 years ago?
Yeah, I think the rivalry's around two big clubs based on either side of the country that have got the tradition of playing two grand finals in a row against each other, which is fairly rare. But also two clubs that have great respect for each other and the way they go about it. So that will, I think, be there for a long time to come.
That won't change with John Longmire taking over from Paul Roos?
No, I don't think so, no. It's that side of it, it's more about the clubs. That respect for each other is not just about coach and coach, it's about the actual the base of the clubs.
Do you feel like it's a new chapter though, given a lot of the players have less?
Yeah, well, we could have kept all the old boys going, but Michael O'Loughlin had to give it up at some stage, and as did Daniel Chick and the other guys. So you know those matchups change, the actual personnel, but the rivalry between the clubs I think will go on for a long time.
Have you known another rivalry like it, John?
Sorry?
Have you known another rivalry like it in your football, those 3 or 4 years when you just kept playing them?
Yeah, not as close, not as consistently close, and in probably 4 or 5 finals, including 2 grand finals, I certainly in my time never had anything like that.
Mark Lacroix was doing some run-throughs, John. How's he going?
Yeah, he's just on track. It's obviously a long rehab process for him, but he's going along really well. So he'll progress according to his program, and hopefully it's at the lower end of the scale in terms of time out.
Which guys are in line to replace Bo this week?
Well, there's guys like Ash Smith, Sam Butler, Eric McKenzie as defenders that have been playing good footy. But there's other young players, Kobe Stevens, Tom Swift, who are in good form as well, that may come in.
Just on Leckett, obviously he's running quite strongly already. Are you surprised at how quickly he's got to that stage? Is that ahead of schedule?
I don't know if it's ahead of schedule, but I think I said it at the press conference, he was moving okay after the game. He had some strength in that straight away. So you know, in terms of running flat out and twisting and turning, he's still a fair way off doing that. But the good thing is that it's recovered to this point so quickly.
He'll be wanting to get back out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Just the type of guy he is. How do you hold him back and make sure everything's right?
Well, he does have a program to follow, and that can adjust by a day here or there, or move a session forward depending on what he's done. So I would expect that. I'm not sure. I think the initial time frame was 6 to 10 weeks, so we're hopeful we'll be at the lower end, but we won't really know until we get closer to that.
Will there be any other changes this week? You've got one forced change. Do you think there'll be any others?
I'm not sure yet. We'll have a good look at what we think Sydney might bring this week, and we've got some players in good form. Young Lewis Broom in the Waffles in really good form and deserves some consideration, as was Ashton Hams on the weekend. So we'll have a look at the type of lineup we want to go in with.
What do you, mate? You touched on Lewis Broom there. Do you think he's ready? I mean, like, helping back because he's so small.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's shown a bit of form in the Waffle.
Yeah, he has. He's obviously very small. He had a very slow pre-season because of his car accident. So, you know, we're wrapped with what he's doing so far. And he's certainly putting his hand up to say, I could come in and give you something in the team. But whether we think he's really ready for sustained AFL footy is something we're weighing up.
What about Sam Butler, John?
Yep, yeah, he's played 3 weeks back now. So he's pushing up to say fitness-wise he's ready to go and play. But we've been fairly happy with the way the guys have been going in the back half. So we've got to weigh that up. Obviously, if we lose Beau Waters, we've got to look at bringing someone in.
What have you made of Sydney's form so far?
Yeah, very solid, very solid. We'll watch them on the weekend, and you know, I thought it was obviously just a real strong performance to get over the top of Essendon. We don't have to tweak our game plan too much. We're just more around. We know what Sydney are going to bring, and we'll be prepared.
Is it still that stoppage style that they bring?
Yeah, it's still numbers around the footy and pretty tight one-on-one, so there's still a lot of that.
Adam Goods is in pretty good form. Do you have a match up for him at this point?
Well, yeah, he is in very good form. So depending where he's playing, we'll certainly believe we'll have a good matchup.
If he starts forward, who do you think you'll have?
Well, either probably Schofield or Brown at this stage, but maybe Eric McKenzie.
So he's a chance to come in this week, John?
Definitely.
What do you make of the ruck work so far of Nick Nat and Coxie both being in the middle? Do you think they'll have an advantage over Sydney unless they play a Pike or a Seaby?
Well, our rucks have been very good, and we haven't capitalised on that in terms of centre clearances at this stage. But you know, we're confident we'll do that at some point. So they're going to be up. Mumford's in pretty good form, and Sydney have got the option of bringing in one of a couple of other ruckmen. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But we're pretty happy with the way our rucks are travelling.
You must be wrapped with the start 2-0. A lot of people, you know, critics maybe only expect you to win maybe 7 or 8 games the whole season, but you know, you're 2 now out of 2. That must be rather exciting.
It's a lot better than the alternative. That's all really. I mean, I've got no control over what critics say and what people get excited over, other than keep preparing this team.
Andrew Gaff, John, been in great form as the sub, coming on beating teams with his pace and his efficiency. This week, sub again, or maybe get a full game?
Yeah, he certainly could come in and play a full game, but he played, I think, something like 80 minutes in the first game. So it's almost as though he's already had one full game, just about, and a bit lighter time last week. So for where he's at, we'd be more than comfortable for him being the sub again.
He's been impressive though with his foot skills.
Yeah, been really impressed. It's great. Our first round draft pick last year to come in and perform as he has.
How much better are you equipped to cope with a stoppage team with Kerr now back in the team, and very impressive after half-time last week, and Shuey up and going and very good around the stoppages? Yeah,
I think we're heading to where we want to get to. Kerr will keep getting better as the weeks go on. We know Shuey and Scott Selwood will continue to improve as footballers as they mature. So still a lot of upside in what we've got, but we're really pleased with the mix we have right now.